welcome you to Gulf High School virtually so that you can learn about our International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. It's one of two programs in Pasco County, and it is unique in every way. Students who participate with us in the Gulf High School IB are stepping up to one of the most valuable educational experiences that you could imagine worldwide. The work that they're doing is similar to what students are doing around the globe at a similar point in time, learning about very important topics that interrelate and help our students to become world leaders. Our students are leaders at our school. They are participants in every team, club, fine art, and activity you could imagine at Gulf High School. And they go on to leave us and do great things in their colleges and in their careers. They're connected with students around the globe who have studied a similar IB curriculum and have similar goals to make the world a better place. In fact, that's one of the key mission statement ideas for the IB, that our students are able to collaborate, to work together, to communicate, to solve the world's problems peacefully. And we need that more than ever. I'm so proud of what we do at Gulf High School throughout our school, but especially with our IB program. Our students stay with us, go on once they leave us, and then they come back and they share their experiences and they work with us to continue to improve the experiences of our students at Gulf. We are very, very privileged to have an assistant principal who oversees our program. That's Miss Macri, and she'll be taking over the mic here in just a second. And of course, to help with the social and emotional development of our students and to be their rock, their support, and their soft place to land, we have a dedicated IB school counselor in Ms. Boehner. So I turn it over to them and am so looking forward to you and your families stepping up and being part of what we do at Gulf High School in the IB diploma program. Ms. Macri, Ms. Boehner.
Thank you, Mr. Morgenstein. Once again, my name is Cheryl Macri. I am the IB coordinator and assistant principal for Gulf High School. And so welcome to Pasco Pathways. This is the first time we've done virtual. So I do appreciate you taking this journey with me today. I will run through our presentation, and after the presentation is complete, I do have a QR code at the bottom on the last slide where you can take a picture and fill out an informational form. And then I will be able to reach out to you and answer any other additional questions you might have or give you other specific things from that form. So if you wouldn't mind, have your camera ready at the end, and then you can take that picture. But in the meantime, if there are questions that you might have, please feel free to put them in the chat. And if we can answer them while we're talking, we will certainly do so. Otherwise, if we have time at the end, we'll address those questions. As always in Pasco County Schools, we seek to provide a world-class education to all of our students to assist them in achieving success in college, in career, and in life. And as I move through this presentation, you'll see how very well the mission and vision of Gulf High School and Gulf High School IB fits within that Pasco County world-class education. So just a little bit about Gulf High School itself and some of the features of the school. Because if you choose to become a member of IB, you'll choose to become a member of Gulf High School and become a Buccaneer. And so it was founded in 1922. And so we're almost 100 years old, which we are incredibly proud of. We were the second high school in the county to be founded. We are the first on the west side of the county, and Pasco High School being the first on the west or on the east side of the county. And so we are located in the city of New Port Richey. And so why that is important or unique to Gulf is because there aren't many high schools in Pasco County that are squarely in the middle of a city. And what that does is it lends itself to having our kids walk to school, ride their bikes to school. Community members have the ability to come on a Friday night to walk up to the school and support our extracurricular events, our plays, our sports, because they are such a tight-knit group, because they have, a lot of them are graduates of Gulf High School, and they still live in the community. We just have this really good community support and community feel. And so it's a really nice feature about Gulf High School. We have about 1,400 kids and about 85 teachers. That is on the smaller side of the schools. A lot of schools have significantly more students than that. And so what that does is it allows us to have, the IB program does have a designated counselor and a designated administrator. So we almost operate like a school within a school. We have about 15 to 20 IB teachers in the program. And so some of those teachers you will see one or two times in your high school career, two or more times in your high school career. And so it's nice is that the kids get to know the teachers get to know the kids, the administration, the counselors, all of us are one big family in a community, and it's a nice match just for the Gulf High community as well. So to just kind of show the support to the community that we have, Gulf High School, I know many of you know, all of you probably have a homecoming. Everybody has a homecoming parade, and that's true everywhere, but not many schools have, and I don't believe any other school on this side of the county has a parade that happens in the middle of a school day in the middle of downtown in their city. So what happens here is that the kids, we leave school early, we all go downtown, we decorate our cars, we get our band, our dance team, all of our clubs, and we march down the streets of New Port Richey and for this homecoming parade. And the business owners, they'll close up shop early, they'll push all their customers out to support us, and they're cheering us in the streets. And it is an incredible feeling to just be so loved from your community. And it's just a really nice thing that the community does to support Gulf High School. The other thing that they did that I would be remiss if I didn't share is this, what you see up here are these pictures of some banners. I know that a lot of schools were struggling in the midst of COVID during the spring semester about how to recognize their graduates. Since we couldn't, formally get together. And so the alumni came together and they purchased these banners for us. And so the left-hand banner you can see is, the class of 2020, but the right banners, you can't really see as much, but every one of those banners has different graduates' names on them. So people could take a walk down in the middle of New Port Richey and see all of the graduates and celebrate those kids. If they walked through even further, what they would find is that in the center of town, they were playing on loop our graduation ceremony. And so you could stroll down the street and you could see celebrate the graduates and then see the actual ceremony. And it was quite an impressive little display. And so again, we have a great community. We're a strong community, and our school reflects the strength in that community. Gulf High School is among the top 20% of the high schools in the Tampa Bay metropolitan area, according to U.S. World News and Reports. Gulf High School is home to high-performing students. We provide a rigorous education for all students, not just IB students. In addition to that, Newsweek has recognized us as putting us in the top third of its U.S. high schools in STEM. And STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So like I said, we reach all students at high levels at Gulf High School, not just the IB students. And so we are particularly proud of all of the accomplishments that our school has put forth. In addition to those accolades, we currently have the Pasco County Teacher of the Year and the Pasco County SRP of the Year. Our teacher, Jen Dixon, is somebody who does a really great job with inquiry and really active learning strategies with kids, and does a great job of engaging kids. And our school related personnel of the year, our family involvement coordinator, Andrea Morrow, does a great job of merging the community in with the school. And so really trying to being all inclusive of both of those organizations. So they do an outstanding job for all of Gulf High School. And so now just to talk a little bit about the Gulf High School IB program. The IB program is a rigorous and balanced approach to preparing students for the social, emotional, and intellectual challenges of a college education. what we seek to do is build all of these characteristics into our students. So this is called the learner profile. And so we, at the end of the 4 years, expect that our students will become inquirers, will become knowledgeable, will become thinkers, will become good communicators, being principled, open-minded, caring, being risk takers, balanced, and reflective. And so with those outcomes in mind, we have built a 4-year continuum within the pre-IB and the IB courses and all experiences really to help build the capacity within those components of the learner profile. So by the end of those 4 years, what you have is a nice, well-rounded, global-minded student that's caring and compassionate and can really think critically about world problems. This is the IB program model. And so this is something that you will see over and over again. What you're looking at here is the core of this is kind of like what IB is about. And so you've got here in the center, you've got the learner. You can see here, you've got the learner. And then in the outer part of the learner, you've got the approaches to teaching and learning. And what that means is that's representative of all of the ways that we teach our kids. So inquiry-based critical thinking, those kinds of approaches to teaching and learning, that's how we teach the students. And from there, we have this outer layer, which we call the core, and we will sort of circle back to the details of what the core is. But that core really focuses on building the learner in their own personal journey and developing them personally. And then the outer layer here is our interdisciplinary coursework that layers on top of the child's personality. And so from here, you build all that interdisciplinary coursework. And then on the outside, what you get is that once you've perfected sort of all of those layers, what you get is a really good international minded, compassionate student. And so that's what we seek to do with the students. And so the way that we do that, a lot of different things we're going to talk through a little bit. We'll talk more about the core in a few slides, but we expose the students to being proficient in all the different academic areas. So that would mean being proficient in 2 languages, being proficient in mathematics, being proficient in science, humanities, and then the arts. And so the reason why that is unique to IB is some other programs may not ask you to be balanced and well-rounded. They may say you may select something that you're comfortable with or something that you're good at. Let's say that you're really good in English and social studies. So you may be able to select coursework that focuses on what you're really, really good at, and you may not be required to take classes that you may not be as good at. Excuse me. But the IB focuses on becoming a well-rounded measure in all discipline. And so that's something that's unique to IB. So the first 2 years of your IB experience at Gulf High School is called pre-IB, the pre-IB years. You don't formally enter the IB until the 11th grade year. So leading up to those years, we do our best to prepare you for everything that is going to come in the 11th grade year. So the IB years focus on a lot of different specific skills that you're going to need. So things like literary and analytical writing, reading and reflection, critical inquiry, approaches to learning, focuses on service to others. We also do a lot of, Ms. Boehner, our school counselor, who is also present with us today, we'll do a lot of work around organizational skills, note taking, how to time manage. If you have any anxiety associated with all of the stuff that's coming at you that's new, how to manage your anxieties, all of those social emotional pieces Ms. Boehner will work on. And then we've got this host of teachers and team of teachers that work on building that academic component as well. So all of that is to kind of prep the students for when they get to the IB, the diploma years, which is the 11th and 12th grade years. And that's where you get what we talked about earlier, those 6 academic assessments. So as I was sharing, those 2 languages, the math, the science, the humanities, and the arts. And so that's where you'll have to, in the 11th and 12th grade year, that's where you would start demonstrating some of that work. We will go through the core a little bit more, but the core starts in your 11th grade year as well. And you do have like 18 months to kind of work through some of these requirements, but and we'll touch a little bit on that here in a minute. But for those of you who like tables, kind of like I do, this is a really easy way to see what your 4 years would look like. All of the red courses in red are college level courses that if you can take and pass those exams, you will earn college credit. So as you can see in the 9th grade year, you've got one AP course and then the rest just honors level. And then in the 10th grade year, you've got 2 AP courses. And then in the 11th grade year, like I said, when we switch to that diploma level, you have all of your classes are either AP or IB. And then in the 12th grade year, you've got straight IB courses. What I want to bring your attention to just for a short minute is the 9th grade year, which is obviously most applicable to the families here tonight. Basically, if you were on the fence about whether or not to do an IB program, take a look at your child's course progression or courses that they would be taking in 9th grade if they were not going to be IB. It is very likely that they would look very similar to the track that you're seeing in front of you right now. You would see an English honors, English 1 honors. You would see a geometry honors or an algebra 2 honors, depending on where you are in your journey. You would see likely some sort of AP class, maybe an AP human geography, an AP psychology, those kinds of, you would see something here. You would see biology honors, and you might see a world language. So the path in the 9th grade year does not look much different than a pre-IB student in the 9th grade year. And so if you were on the fence about whether or not to join the IB program, it might be a way to get yourself involved and dip your toe into it and see if it's a nice fit for you, because you would have access to all of the supports. Obviously, if you're in the IB program, you'd have access to all the supports and the benefits of being in the IB program versus sitting in a non-IB course track, which are the same classes without all of those benefits and perks. So it's just another food for thought and consideration about what you might want your 9th grade experience to look like. The IB core curriculum, I've said that a couple times already tonight. So it's one of those foundational pieces of IB. It's made up of 3 components. And the first one is a 4,000 word essay that you choose the subject and the topic. So that sounds really overwhelming to a lot of people when you say you have to write me a 4,000 word essay. So what I will say to you and what we shared with the kids is that it's over 18 months. The kids have to do over 18 months. They've got to create about 4,000 words. They also get a mentor that's assigned to them. And we create benchmarks for the kids, and as well as like opportunities to do some research and kind of work with their mentor. And they get to basically revise and continue to work and continue to think over 18 months to perfect this essay. So if the kids follow the timeline that we prescribe and they do things in sort of that order, it really isn't an overwhelming task. At the end of it, what you have is a beautiful work of art. Essentially, you've got 4,000 words on something that is quite impressive. You are an excellent writer at that point, and you have the ability to analyze whatever topic you're discussing. So it is it's an incredibly it's satisfying for the kids when they get done. I mean, leading up to it, they always get nervous. And then when they get done with it, it's just this incredible relief and satisfaction of, wow, look what I've just done. A lot of our kids who apply to like high level schools will write the essay in something that they're going to use, something they want to be when they grow up. So like I had this girl last year, she wanted to be an architect. So she wrote the whole essay in Spanish on Spanish architecture, if you can imagine that. And then so she did then use that to apply to different schools to get in so that she could get into their architecture programs. So what that does is it really is a nice way to showcase hey, look, not only am I an IB student from a high performing high school in the state of Florida, but I've also written this gorgeous 4,000 word essay on something, that is not only going to pertain to me right now, but is going to pertain to my future. So it's a very impressive document when it's all said and done. Ooh, excuse me. Went backwards. The theory of knowledge is a class that the students take, and it is really the bedrock of the IB program. It is, it's a way, to embed ethics into, how does ethics play into all different academic disciplines. They basically learn to figure out why you think the way that you think, if you will. There's a lot of, it's very profound. Mainly a big message, one of the big themes is like, how do my own experiences affect and shape the way that I construct knowledge in my own head? And how does that sort of, how is that all connected? So it's a very sort of philosophical approach to learning and education. And what you get when you're done, if you do it correctly, is a really compassionate individual, a really well-rounded, compassionate human. And so that's kind of the goal of that TOK course. And the last thing we do for the core is called Creativity, Action, and Service, and that is the acronym CAS. That is a project that you choose to benefit someone else or a community. So you'll see things like, let's say a student wants to learn to knit. They teach themselves to knit, then they teach 3 or 4 of their friends to knit. And then once they all get together and they knit, then they donate they donate, like they knit caps for, caps, and they donate them to a prenatal unit. So CAS is really like a community service long range project that benefits the community. And so that's just kind of one example of that. We've seen, you've seen great kids doing great things, just all in the news, particularly now anyway, kids that have banded together to make masks for different places who needed it. Or I read that article about kids who use 3D printers to make ventilators, like those kinds of long-term projects that benefit and give back to the community. Those would be really great CAS projects. So in addition to what we do academically, what do we do? What else do we do? As I mentioned, we are a small school. And so because of that, we have a small cohort of kids that we feel very strongly in that we want to make it a family. And so we do these things, of course, not right now in the era of COVID, but so these are last year's pictures, but basically we have monthly activities where the kids get together and build relationships with one another and just have fun. So we've done picnic, we've done, pumpkin painting, we've done caramel apples, we've created caramel apples, we've done a Beyblade tournament, we've done capture the flag, we did an ice cream bar, we've just done a bunch of different things. And, we meet with the kids every month and they come up with ideas and they really like them. And you have no idea how competitive capture the flag can be to the IB children, I must tell you. but they love it. They have a great time and it builds a sense of community, and that's just a way to connect with everyone. So they really enjoy that. So how will I benefit from IB? Well, you will earn college credit, and you can earn up to 2 years of college worth. There are a significant amount of scholarships accessible to students. You will be better prepared for life for college. You are a hot commodity, if you will, by admissions officers, because of they are aware of such a rigorous curriculum that you're exposed to. They really covet when they get an IB student. They really want them, and I'm going to share with you some acceptance rates here in a little bit, just to show you what I mean by that. But if you're a parent, this is definitely one of the reasons why. This is one of the perks for IB. Students who graduate from IB with an IB diploma are eligible for 100% free college tuition via the Bright Future Scholarship without having to meet one of the other requirements. So what I mean by that is, if you look down here, you can see that if you are a traditional student, not enrolled in the IB program, if you wanted to access the Fulbright futures, you would need either a 1330 on your SAT or 29 on your ACT. And so if you don't have that, if you get the IB diploma, you don't need any of those. And so we're not suggesting that you don't take the SAT and ACTs. You still need those for college admissions and just to kind of know where you are and qualify for scholarships and those kinds of things. So we're not suggesting you don't take them. What I'm saying is that if you are not someone who is great at taking one snapshot of an exam, a great test taker, and you may or may not think you might hit this 1330, which is incredibly competitive, you might benefit from an IB diploma where the actual grades of the IB diploma are not given by just one exam. IB scores are comprised of, well, you can get them out of 7 points. 4 is passing, but it's not one exam that gives you that score of 1 through 7. It is several different components, an oral presentation, we call it an internal assessment. So some sort of small project. There is an end of course exam as well, but it is one component of that. So if you're not great at sitting for one exam with one snapshot in time and producing a high level product, let's say you get nervous, then an IB diploma might be the best approach for you, because as I said, not only are those grades for IB courses made up of several different components, but also then you don't need to meet the metric of that 1330 or that 29 for an SAT or an ACT to get that Bright Futures. You can get the Fulbright Futures earning the degree instead. So IB acceptance rates, I just wanted to share with you. IB publishes them for almost every institution. So if you had a specific question about a specific institution, I could share that with you. Just feel free to use that QR code and write that down, and I'll get back to you. But basically, I just picked a few places. And so, for example, if I do not have an IB diploma and you do have an IB diploma, and everything else is equal, I, without an IB diploma, have a 7.2% chance of getting into MIT. But you, with an IB diploma, have a 23.1% chance of getting into MIT. Each school is different with the different levels, which you can see, for example, University of Michigan is a significantly different, very, very different between IB diploma and without an IB diploma. In fact, we had 2 students last year who were accepted to University of Michigan with quite sizable financial packages as well. But anyway, they would have fell into this category of 70.8%, where they were admitted at a higher rate. And so it's really because they know, as I said, colleges know that you are very well prepared, and IB coursework, IB curriculum really, really prepares you very well for college, and colleges know this. So these are just some of the schools that our students from Gulf High School have been accepted to in the last 4 years. Obviously, the list is not all encompassing. It is an impressive list. We have great kids do great work here, and so they go everywhere. And they go, they've got Duke University, we've got Boston University, Johns Hopkins, Rice, Columbia. We've just got a whole host of places, and we are very, very proud of our kids, because we know, and they do well. They do really well in those high level institutions. We also have a lot of our students access that free Bright Futures, and why wouldn't you? It's access that free Bright Futures, and they stay here in Florida, and they go to University of South Florida and University of Florida and Florida State. So they do that as well, and they go and they perform at exceptionally high levels as well. The point I want to drive home here is that it doesn't matter where you go. What the IB diploma did was give you the choice to go where you wanted to go, and that's what I really want to drive home to. You have opportunities when you take this program and you succeed in it. And isn't that wonderful, to have the ability to choose what you want and figure out the right path for you. So that's kind of the point I wanted to just kind of drive home there. But the other thing that Gulf High School has, it's a new feature this year, is called the GAP program. We are a GAP school. And so GAP stands for Guaranteed Admissions Pathway Program. So we have a partnership with USF where students have guaranteed admission to USF with flexible requirements. So what that means is USF has a set of admissions requirements for most students. But if you attend Gulf High School, those admissions requirements are more flexible. And so if what that basically will mean is, if you, particularly in the IB program, if you are a Gulf High School student in the IB program, you might meet the requirements for the flexible admissions, essentially, and then access the Bright Futures for free. So you'll get in with guaranteed admission. And then if you get the IB diploma, then it would be part of that free component. So it's a really nice feature that Gulf High School is now offering, and obviously in partnership with USF. So the last couple slides is going to be, and we do have some time, so that's good. The last couple slides, I just wanted to kind of go through and show you some pictures. One of the biggest concerns or barriers I always hear from families is, can I do sports when I'm in IB? Can I be in clubs? And so I want to kind of show you what the next couple pictures I'm going to show you are just pictures of the kids in the last year of things that they have done. So what you see up here is what I say when I mean IB, because when we, as a team, as the IB team, we sit and look at what we're doing when we talk about activities or curriculum or whatever it is that we're talking about. We always say, well, what do I mean when I say IB? What is IB? Well, that's IB. Oh no, that is IB. This is what we want, right? And so what do I mean when I say IB? I say that my kids are inquirers. That's what I say. Gulf High School students, IB students, are inquirers. They placed third in the county science fair. They've been nationally recognized for the Sandy Hook Promise work that they have done. They have created intercultural celebrations of both the arts and in view of our World Fair that encompass the entire school, include the entire school. They have participated in state competitions for science called the Envirothon. Our IB students are balanced. They are excellent athletes. They are superior weightlifters. They are superior volleyball players. Almost all of the kids last year who were on the homecoming court were IB students. So they are balanced in that way. Our IB students are also thinkers. They are, last year's kids they took home several awards at FBLA, other FBLA competitions. They placed fifth, and so those are state competitions. They placed fifth in healthcare, third in the financial math, third in political science, and first place in entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you, this was the one award that they were so proud of themselves. They celebrated for days and days, and you can see how happy they are with those trophies. It really meant a lot to them. So our kids are risk takers. The student on the right, her name is Kara. Kara donated 300 sunglasses to the Greater Holiday Little League in an attempt to educate students or children on the dangers of UV rays. Okay. On the left, you see Arthi. Arthi is a last year graduate, who hiked Mount Kilimanjaro. So if you recall earlier in the presentation, I shared with you about that CAS project, that long range service project that kids had to do. So Arthi's she was gonna summit Mount Kilimanjaro. And so it took her a year. She trained. She trained every day. She went, she hiked over bridges. She ran over bridges. She rock climbed. She did an incredible amount of work to get herself prepped and ready. And then over the summer, she flew to Mount Kilimanjaro and summited it. And that is an incredible task. And our kids they are exceptional students. All of our kids are knowledgeable. And so as you can see, some of the work that we do in classes are, again, a lot of inquiry-based instruction, a lot of hands-on stuff. in addition to a lot of reading and writing. So don't let me mislead you into say that it's all inquiry. There is a heavy reading and writing and analysis as well. But you can see here that we try very hard to make sure that we are providing a rigorous, well-rounded education. At the end of the day, our kids are all of the things in the learner profile, but the most important part is that the research shows that our kids are critical thinkers and they are problem solvers. They are strong in language and they are strong in writing, and they have a sense of international mindedness and a sense of personal responsibility for community. They overall, when they get to colleges, the research shows that they perform at higher rates than their peers and often finish college in less time than their peers. And that they are usually leaders on the campus. So they're more likely to engage in tutoring, like tutoring students, or to be leaders in different organizations or clubs or student groups. And I know this because we have what we call IB Graduate Day. So every year we bring back our graduates, and here that you can see them here, and they sit on a panel, and we bring in our IB students, and they come in and they just fire questions back and forth, and each kids, they talk about their college experiences, and our kids have an opportunity to ask whatever questions they might have. And during those times, we kind of get those IB graduates and we talk to them and we say, like, hey, give me some feedback. What did you love about our program? What do we need to do better? Like, what was the most valuable parts? Like, give me some feedback on how we're doing. How did we prepare you for college? And so a lot of the kids, mostly this is what the kids report back to us. They felt like, what did the IB program do for you? Well, first, classes are fun. It teaches you how to write concisely. It increases your likelihood of getting in the leadership positions. It answers that classic question, what am I learning this for? That TOK mindedness really teaches you how to have a greater understanding for the bigger picture of things. So our IB kids really understand. I saw last Friday, I saw two graduates from last year. They came to our football game, and I asked them, I said, how's it going? How's college? Like, are you prepared? And they just laugh and they go, yeah, oh yeah, no, we're prepared. She said, my roommates, or they get nervous when we get these papers, and I don't get so nervous because I know that I can do it, so that's a nice feeling to know that you're sending kids off to college and then next step, prepared. So the next step for you guys, as we kind of conclude here, is for us, I'd like to invite you to our IB Interest Parent Meeting. That will be held on Thursday, December 10th at 6 p.m. And that's going to look a little different than this. This will not be me sort of facilitating. I'll have kids and teachers I'll invite them to give you guys a different lens, and it can be a question and answer kind of panel discussion about what IB looks like through their lens. And so that will be held on December 10th at 6 p.m. And then the entrance exam will be Saturday, January 23rd at 8 a.m. And right now we're just not sure if that exam will be held in person or virtually. We're just waiting for further guidance on that. And once we get that information, we will push that information out to you. The application window for school choice starts January 7th and goes until January 21st. Once you are applying, we will notify you between the days of February 19th through 28th. Just remember that when you do your applications, you want to submit them through My Student. And so that concludes my portion of the presentation. If you would, at this time, go ahead and take a picture, scan this QR code, and that'll bring you to a form for you to fill out, just so that I have your information, so that I can follow back up with you, make sure I've answered all of your questions, or find out if there's a different way that I need to support you. Take that opportunity to give me any feedback, what you would have liked to have heard more of, if there should be other things, anything you want to share, please go ahead and share it in that QR code. And then at this time, I can open it up for questions for everyone.
If you have any questions that you want to enter in the chat box, go ahead. We have just a couple more minutes. If not, go ahead and submit those questions to the link that Ms. Macri just put in the chat box, or provided when you took a picture of the QR code. We want to thank everyone for attending the Gulf High School IB Magnet session of the Pasco Pathways Expos. If you have any questions outside of Gulf High School, you can email pathwaysexpo@pasco.k12.fl.us. If you need any more information, and please be on the lookout for a survey following this event, because we will collect your feedback to make any improvements to these sessions. We thank you for coming, and we hope, well, we got one question. How are we able to apply before the cutoff of December 14th? Sorry that you have a toddler, so that's understandable. So how are we able to apply before the cutoff of December 14th?
So school choice window starts January 7th and goes through January 21st. I had to look at my board one more time.
Yeah.
So that's the school choice window. So December 14th is not a deadline at all. December 10th is the parent invite, which I will again follow up in an email to you guys with a Zoom link for a parent interest night for Gulf High School. I'm typing and writing at the same time. So, but that'll be via Zoom as well. So you won't have to apply until January 7th.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. And if you have any other questions, you can submit them at a later time using any of the links that you have. So we appreciate you being here, and we hope everyone has a great night. Thank you for participating.